Perrier water. Perrier water.
Guys, welcome to what we like to call the SourceFed podcast.
Well, what do they like to call it?
Well, they'll probably call it things we can't say on the air or online. This is a
That
very
should be
special.
a good podcast. Let's start another podcast called Things You Can't Say on the Air or Online.
That's how we get away with saying things.
And
you
then we
can't
just
say.
get on there and we go, I'm aggressive.
Guys, if this is your first time tuning into this podcast, welcome. It's a little madcap, a little zany. And also, please, if you have some time, write a small review for us on the iTunes, because that would be super awesome.
You got fingers.
You got fingers. It's
You
very
got
easy.
iTunes. If you got a Mac, they put it on there whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
It opens when you plug your phone in. Go into iTunes.
It takes seconds, let's be
Please.
honest about it. And also, we're on the SoundCloud as well, which is another great place to go, where you can also check out our good friend Darren Von Gerdner's new EP as well.
Oh, is that on iTunes? Is it on Spotify?
What's it called?
Hold me
Hold
to
Me
it.
To It.
DVG, hold me to it.
So anyway, guys, this is a special episode of the podcast because we have our very own Owen Carter here, as well as Sam Basher.
Hello.
And William Haynes.
Owen is also known as Charlemagne in the streets.
And son of a bitch in the sheets.
In the streets. Charlemagne in the streets, son of a bitch in the streets.
So Owen Carter is an editor on SourceFed Nerd and is also debatably my best friend.
Wow, debatably.
How long you known this
I could
motherfucker?
debate that.
It could be debated.
How long you known P? How long you known him?
Owen says 2002? That's insane.
Wow.
How old were you in 2002,
That's
Sam?
elementary school.
I was 9.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was 9. Can you think about that?
I know it was 2002 because I started college. Not even started. That's like when
No.
I came out for film school. I'd been in college for 2 years before that.
That's yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, no. In 2002, you were in college?
Yeah.
I graduated
I should
high
have
school
graduated-
in 2000.
That's when my
Same.
sister
I should have
graduated high
graduated.
school in like 2002, 2003. Yeah, that's
You guys could have. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I should have graduated high school in 2000 and then 2001.
Do you
and
think
I
you
just-
ever saw me as a baby?
you guys should have babysat us.
We could have babysat you. Yeah.
If you
Did you
do
ever
have
see
team
me
does?
as a baby once, Owen?
I don't trust myself as a babysitter now.
Really?
Oh, hell no.
no.
So back then, it would have been like, say goodbye to your child. That's the last time you're
Say
gonna
goodbye
see
to your child. Come on down to Steve's Daycare, also
You
known
never-
as Yelp, as Say Goodbye to Your Child.
You never babysat?
I never babysat.
I've never
Oh, you
babysat
never
you.
have.
No one's asked me to for very obvious reasons.
People are still asking me to get babysat. Like, so. Can you babysit
In fact,
well?
Your mom called me and asked if I could babysit you this weekend.
Like, I'm an adult.
But you know what the good thing about look, let's be honest, there's a part of my personality that I can't help being weird and strange and
You
ridiculous.
can't help it. It's called a mental disorder.
It actually is, I
Yeah.
think. But the other side of it is that I like to make people laugh and I like to be a wacky boy, and it just it makes me happy. But there's the good side of that is I will never be asked to babysit a child.
Oh, me either. No, I am never held responsible for,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Babysitting's not that hard. I mean, I'm fine with kids usually, but like if it's a baby, they just sit around, make
Okay.
noises, and roll
Yeah,
around.
but like
See-
I don't know if there's certain things they can't eat.
Because I know you do it right. Steve, if Steve's going
Don't
to
just like give it things. You just give it some like milk.
Steve-
Pour some milk in a dish on the ground and see if it goes
Oh,
for it.
that works.
If Steve is going to
Get a cat.
babysit, he's not going to talk to the kid. He's going to either put on a movie or play a video game. If you ever seen Steve play a video game, he does not look away.
Oh no.
I haven't looked Steve in the eye at home in 3 months.
It's true. Although I did make it a point last night to turn the game off so we could chat for a little while.
But then I was busy.
Yeah, and then you went upstairs.
You don't got to say what I was going to do.
You went
Well,
up.
I just said you
You
went
went
upstairs.
upstairs.
All right.
So, Owen, have you babysat before?
Yeah, I did it for money.
Really?
That was a job you had?
Before I could get like real jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlemagne, you crazy.
I wanted to buy soundtracks.
You wanted to buy
Aw,
sound?
Where'd I get my CD money?
This is everyone's opportunity to get to know Owen.
Oh, well, babysitting's
know him.
easy. You put them to sleep as soon as possible.
soon as possible.
And then go through the parents' porn collection.
Dad closes the door. Get to sleep.
So, okay, Owen, tell us about a day.
You cover him in a blanket like a parrot continues.
I love
You're
that.
giving them saucers of milk on the floor, covering them with blankets.
I love it. Get into a cage and let me put a blanket over it and you'll fall asleep. Why does that work on birds?
Isn't it wrong that we do that to
they
dogs?
think it's nighttime.
Isn't
No,
it
you
wrong?
do it to birds. We don't do it to dogs.
Don't get me started. I don't even want to talk about pet birds. If you
Oh,
have a
yeah.
pet bird,
You're an asshole.
that's wrong. Especially they clip the bird's wings so they can't fly. The reason why you have to keep a bird in a cage is because it's always trying to escape because it doesn't want to be in your house. You have a dog, it'll stay. You don't even have to train
Imagine
it.
if you could fly.
I would
Let's
always
say
be
you
flying.
were born with the ability to fly, and then some asshole with a mustache comes and grabs your ass and puts you in a cage and wants to just look at you, and you don't get to fly.
And then he thinks you're one of the ones that could say shit, so he's always like, "Mommy,
Yeah.
mommy,
hamburger.
hamburger."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, this motherfucker won't be happy until I go hamburger."
Yeah.
And then they give you like some very tasteless food.
If I was a bird that could talk, I would purposefully start to say very racist things. That way they would get rid of me, and I could. There's more hope of me getting away.
Oh,
if
honey,
I'm a racist
honey, I
bird.
just got a
I don't think the birds know how to survive outside after that.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Yeah, you're right, because they
Are
they
not
needed
in their
to-
environment. We brought them to America.
Yeah.
They don't belong here.
You know what's weird? We think
He's
about
too
how
mad about
we think
that.
I'm
about,
talking about birds, not people. Don't cut that into like.
So listen, hold on. We think about how animals, like back in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and even earlier, where animals were mistreated, like the circus and such. And, you know, horses in westerns were like very, very
Using like
mistreated.
tripwires to
Yeah,
get them to fall and
yeah,
stuff.
they'd use
Yeah.
tripwire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd break their legs, and you'd have to put them down and shit.
Well, that's
like,
still like a thing.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that thing
Horrible.
true? Have you ever heard about like elephants? Like what they do is when they're a baby elephant, they tie them to a thing that they can't break away from, and they keep tying them to that, even though they eventually grow too big that they're stronger than the thing that ties them down. But they are trained to think that they're not stronger than that. So even
Oh
when
my
they're a
God.
huge elephant, they never try.
I
It's the
believe
same thing
it.
with the economy.
I believe it.
Fuck you.
But always political, aren't you, Will? but like, so we think about those things from way back when, and we're like, man, that's awful. But there are things we're still doing today to animals that sounds like as bad as the stuff they did years and years and years ago, like keeping birds in cages or like zoos. Even zoos are
Okay,
awful.
They're
look,
kind of on the way out, though.
Yeah.
they are on the
Zoos
way
are.
out.
Do you know the biggest zoo is the San Diego one? And
But
it's
that's
like,
a wild animal
No, there's
park.
two different ones. There's a zoo and a wild.
Oh, okay.
Can we
also a
just
wild
say-
animal park is horrible too. You have lions in San Diego and
Can
like
we
giraffes.
can we say that zoos are okay because the animals in there were just dumb enough to get caught?
No.
No, I don't think we
Can we
say
say that?
It
Can we?
makes me think about the other comparison you made to birds earlier.
The birds. What? I forgot what I said already.
You missed an interesting joke because you were talking about humans earlier,
I was talking about birds.
but then you were like, "Don't misconstrue my words as talking about humans." That's what Owen.
Is that what you're saying? Like, were they just the ones who were dumb enough to get caught?
They were dumb. Was dumb enough to get caught. Okay, we talked about this before. There have been human zoos. There have been human zoos.
Yeah, there have been human zoos.
Hey, we can thank Hitler for getting rid of those.
We can thank Hitler for getting rid of those,
Thanks,
according
Hitler.
to Reddit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we
We
still?
can thank him for getting rid of
yeah,
them?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
They were human zoos, and then apparently I read that he said like, oh, that's kind of strange. So he
Hitler's
shut
like,
them down.
"That's too far."
He's
Too
like,
far.
you know what? When we're watching them, it's not cool. Like we could just get rid of them in the background, but I don't want to watch them.
He got rid of human zoos, but then he made concentration camps?
Then he made concentration camps.
Man,
What's the point?
Can we talk about something happy instead?
Well, I was gonna say I was in Washington D.C. and I was leaving. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. There was this elevator operator that was like, "So, what do you think about Washington D.C., man?" I was like, because I told him it was my first time, and I was like, "I thought it was great. I really liked it." And he was looking over at this other guy out there, another like security worker, and he was like, "Man, why do people like Washington D.C. so much? Like, why did people want to?" He couldn't believe that people liked it.
Yeah.
Because I guess he had lived there his whole life or whatever. And I was like, well, I think for me, mostly it's because there's this like patriotic kind of feeling there and historical significance to Washington, D.C. And, you know, you can see the White House and all that stuff. And he was like, if you want to see real history, man, you go to Merlin, Alabama. Or no, Merlin. Oh, shit.
Oh no, tell him that's the kind of history you like. I don't like that kind of.
No.
history.
He what was it? It was
what kind of
it
history
was
are
like
you talking
it was
about?
like Louisiana or something like that.
Where Outcast started, or
No, it was like it was like the early days of slavery and like the real bad cover up American stuff, like the real bad American history stuff. And he was like, "You got to go there, man. You
Isn't
got to
it
go
crazy?
to the South and
Okay.
check out that stuff." Because the White House burnt down. That's not the original White House in.
I think only
Washington,
part of it
DC.
burned down.
War of 1812.
Did the whole thing
No, I think
burn
the whole
down?
The
thing
whole
burned
thing burnt
down.
down.
I thought it was only part of it burned
No,
down.
whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I mean, maybe not the found. I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whole thing burnt down.
You know, I mean, I went to Washington.
But then he was like telling me all this stuff about history and blah 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 blah. And then I was like, "Wow, man, that's great. That's very enlightening. Thank you." And he's like, "And also, man, they cover up a lot of stuff, man. If I wanted to tell the real story about history, they'd kill me, man.
I
Was
wish
that
like
elevator
something-
operator?
Yeah. and then he was
You know the
like,
shit I've seen in this elevator?
and I was like, okay, anyway, nice to meet you, thank you. And as I was exiting the elevator, he's like, you know that those 2 reporters that died on TV, that gunman that came and killed those reporters live on TV?
You mean the thing we covered?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that's all cover up, man. That was fake. That was a cover up. And I
You
was
know-
like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go.
I've been like super not trusting the government lately. I've been like super like I don't know why, but okay. So you know, a couple weeks ago that Rachel Dolezal thing happened with a woman who's like not black, but then she said she was black,
Yes.
and everybody talked about it. That happened at the same exact time as that video came out of a police officer going to a pool party and just going Hulk on the motherfuckers.
On the
Pushing-
14-year-olds.
On 14, pushed down in a bikini. She doesn't have a gun, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
She's
at the
no
s-
danger
no.
to
At
you,
the
sir.
same time, at the same exact time, what got media coverage?
Oh, you think about Trump too, and how like all the things he says is just absolutely ridiculous. And we thought it couldn't get any more ridiculous than Bush.
Bush was ridiculous.
Yeah, we didn't think it could get any more ridiculous.
This is
and
what
now
we're
we have
asking for, though.
Trump, and I'm thinking like there are popular theories that this is a total cover up for other things happening in the media or whatever, or like to distract people. This seems the most likely distraction of
Trump
any
running
things
for
that I've heard of
president?
distractions in the history of.
This is the most
the US.
insane thing that's ever happened.
It's insane.
This is insane.
Like political rodeo clown.
yes.
yeah. Must
Yeah.
I remind you? Bing bong, bing bing bong.
Oh
bing.
yeah, yeah. Bing bing bong bong.
And
bong,
when
bong,
he
bing,
went on
bing,
there,
bong.
he was talking about Chinese businessmen, and he said, "We want deal." Like, what? What are you doing?
He did an impression of a Chinese businessman,
yes.
and it was very racist.
and he's running for president.
You know what's weird
people
though?
are into
Have you
it.
met
And people
people
are
that?
into it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to ask.
Because
No,
I was
like,
gonna
here's-
say it's kind of like that privilege thing, and it's kind of like that whole you're in a whole other category of human being, whatever you want to interpret that as, where like people don't say no to you, and you're very powerful, and you have a lot of money,
Like
and-
Justin Bieber.
like Justin Bieber. You get, I mean,
I'm
you
not
could-
mad at the kid. We talked about this
No,
before.
but it's the grown-up version of that. Like,
It's a grown-up version.
Well, but
yeah.
Justin Bieber is still a kid, essentially. When Justin Bieber is Donald Trump's age, he'll probably say
And
terribly
has-
stupid
and
shit.
has
I
that
have-
money. That's
Yeah.
that money is. It's like a fantasy, basically, to have
Yes.
that much money and that much power.
I have no issue with Justin Bieber because, like, I'm like barely older than him, and I know if you gave me $200 million, like, I think I've finally grown out of it. But if you gave me $200 million 2 years ago and I was cute, I would have run a fucking muck.
Well, yeah, because they talk about how like
Hell yeah.
cigarettes and pot and alcohol are very detrimental to the developmental years of a child, like 16, like or any age before 18, and even like until you're like 25 for males. I think their brains are still developing, and so you stunt that with alcohol and drugs or whatever, then you're gonna have some problems. But think about giving them like billions of dollars while their brains are developing. They're learning an entire new method of life living that we will never understand.
You got a good beard. I just noticed that shit.
All right.
Nah, I've been.
Thanks,
noticed.
man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Remember
Has
that time?
do you think anyone's ever noticed you have a beard before?
No. I think I'm the first.
Do you think anyone's pointed it out before?
Now that I think about it, I don't know.
Did you know you have a beard?
Well, everybody has a beard.
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
wait, hold on.
Everyone at this table can grow a beard but me.
No,
Like,
you got some stuff.
I'm jealous of
I just
Owen's
missed.
beard growing ability.
I didn't have a like full beard till like 25. But it started being like normal.
Yeah, I
You
got a
might have a
couple
chance.
years.
But
Oh,
Owen will
God.
have a full beard by the end of the day.
by the end of the day, by the end of the
Quickly it grows.
podcast, Owen will have a Moses beard going on.
All right, so
What I was gonna say about that elevator guy, he's like, you want to see real history? Like, look at all the terrible shit. And he was like, why does anyone want to go to Washington D.C. or whatever? Like, that's not real history. That's the dark negative version of history.
That's the American
Yeah,
version of history.
the Washington D.C. that you're talking about, that's the opposite. He's not seeing is like that's the positive. That's the
Yeah.
optimistic.
You would never snitch on
side of
yourself.
it.
You
right,
would never
but it's
say,
also
yeah.
in his opinion, it's the manufactured history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Whereas
he's just focusing on the negative. And,
Right,
And you're like,
right.
why would anyone come to Washington D.C.? Because it gives you hope.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Like optimism. When you look
Yeah.
at the history and where we've come, people
Mm-hmm.
are always like, man, the world's so fucked up today, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Keep going back. It just gets worse and worse. And the fact that we're here at all gives me hope.
Like
that it
when
will
people say
continue
that
to get better.
when people say things are going in the toilet, it's just like, you got to look back. You're not looking back. You're looking maybe a year or two, and like maybe maybe it's not better in some areas, but overall, we're okay. Like,
America is great.
but yeah,
Absolutely.
we're okay.
I know
Like,
I do nothing but criticize it, but like that.
and you should.
America
we
is
should criticize
entertaining.
it.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I think it's
The
a
world
fun
is
country.
entertaining.
Like everyone in the outside, anywhere, if you live anywhere else in the world, you're that animated GIF where you're eating popcorn and you're just watching America.
America is a fun time.
It's
saw
just
this,
a fucking it's a dog and pony show.
America's the Vegas of the world.
It is the Vegas of the world. That I was trying to figure
Yeah,
out the
but you
perfect
got-
metaphor. That is it.
But I think they're
Yes.
not laughing with us.
No,
No,
of course
they
not.
They're
absolutely
laughing
are not.
at us.
Exactly,
Some-
kind of like Vegas.
Somebody tweeted me a video of the American political debates versus Canadian ones, and in the American one, you know how it goes. It's like a huge theater,
Yes.
and they're like, "This is brought to you by this.com. Tweet us all your questions." On the Canadian one, it was 4 people in the room, 3 of them were running, 1 of them was asking questions. In America, we have to make it all a huge show, and we love it. It's like in other
Pomp and
countries,
circumstance.
yeah, their politicians are just being politicians.
job. Just
yeah,
go do your job.
Go do your job. People out here trying to show out in public and be like goddamn rock stars.
Well, it's the whole snowflake thing again too, where everyone's like a beautiful little snowflake, and
I am.
well, so are you, Sam.
Thank you.
So, okay, look, let's get away from politics and all this drab bullshit. And since we have Owen on the podcast,
Oh,
Owen-
you want to talk about your album, huh?
no, actually, we can if you want.
Just
but,
tell us about it. Oh,
Well, Owen and I are. Where Owen is my partner in crime on the Animals album that is still coming out. For those of you wondering, all 2 of you that are wondering when it's coming out, it is coming
Those
out.
two
Is it
are
just us
very
two?
excited.
They are
Is that
very
us too?
excited.
We're real excited.
Yeah, Sam and Will can't wait. I think it's gonna come out in December.
You
I
didn't
don't think
take
I've
my
said that
suggestion.
yet anywhere.
you didn't take my suggestion. For
I
the
did
last
take your
song.
suggestion.
You didn't write it though.
It actually has not been written yet.
We've discussed it.
We've heavily discussed it.
You didn't
we
ask me
have
to
about
feature on a song.
7 tracks, right? Right now.
Maybe more.
And we're planning on 10.
And we keep accidentally writing other songs for another time.
Yeah.
Well,
like the Technology is Perfect song just like came out of nowhere, and I don't know where to put that. And I think it'll just be a song that I just release on iTunes or something.
I'm excited for this album, but I'm excited for the one you make after this one.
Yeah, it's
That-
always the next one that you're kind of like, what's going on there? You think?
Yeah.
But we're gonna debut one of the new songs at New York Comic Con, or not New York Comic Con, New York SourceFed.
The
thing.
YouTube.
Wait, have we even announced that?
What?
The New York YouTube show?
I totally thought we did. I got that totally confused with the other movie theater thing we did. Yeah, in my head, yeah.
This is the most haphazard announcement ever made about anything.
I'm
might
gonna
be
wait
in
until
New
someone
York.
tells me to make it.
Anyway, so just take all that information and wait for official statements. But anyway, Owen is helping big time on that. But that's actually not what I was going to bring up. I was going to bring up that Owen has a lot of information about space. Owen is a spaceman.
Well, tell us about the Andromeda.
I want to talk about space.
Owen likes space a lot.
I don't have. I just like it. I don't know if I have a lot of information.
you've
more
told
than
me-
like the
yeah.
average person who likes space stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think out there in we know the universe is infinite. Do you think there's a planet that is very similar to ours that has like maybe not people on it, but like intelligent beings just as intelligent as we are or more?
It's got to be
It's
numbers wise.
super light.
It has to be.
Statistically, actually, there should be like I
Several
read,
of them.
No, like there's like
like
4.
a billion.
Like
Like
4?
4?
Like 4 that are at the same like period
is
as us.
Incredible.
I like statistically right now like 4. Like I don't know who they were saying it from. Like on what the
Oh,
scale.
you mean
was
of the ones
universe.
we've spotted?
No. And like in the universe, there was like maybe I'm saying the number too low, but I'm saying planets that are at the exact same stage as us.
Do you think they have like Perrier water?
You know what? They probably do.
Well, good job mentioning Perrier water twice. Now you just need to mention it one more time.
At the tail slide. It's
Right towards the end.
Everybody go to Perrier.com/SourceFed and get yourself free.
Don't. That's gonna be cut out.
That has to be probably, yeah. There is no Perrier water.
I think so. I just watched this Planetarium.
Steve, do you remember Perry Air from
Yes, I do.
Spaceballs?
From Spaceballs. That's a good joke. He opens up the can of Perrier and starts sniffing it because like the air is like running out on their planet or
It's
whatever.
funny because
Oh.
in China they actually sell air in cans.
They sure do.
No,
With a
they
little
don't.
With
Yes,
the
they do.
nostril, yeah, and it has like a nostril
they do.
cup. that you
Because
can
their
put
air
over
is
your
so
nose.
bad.
Did you see how they cleared out the air in Beijing?
No.
They like put like shut down all the factories and like traffic and stuff for 2 weeks, and the air got all super clear for this big like military parade.
No
And
way.
then the next day, like everyone's back normal and just all
Shit.
comes back in.
If Superman was
Jesus.
exist, he could just like blow.
You just blow the air, or suck it all in.
and just put it in space or something. Get
Okay,
rid of that
so
shit.
I was just at the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., and I went and saw a lovely planetarium show
Those are
narrated
fun.
by our Lord and Savior Neil deGrasse Tyson. And
He must feel like the shit all the time.
he has to feel like the shit. He is the shit.
He
Within
is
the
the
last
shit.
2 years.
He's the new what's his name?
Carl Sagan.
Well,
I mean, he's at least the closest to a Carl
Yeah,
Sagan
yeah.
we'll get in our generation.
yeah.
Every generation has that issue. Like some people are like, "Oh, Kendrick Lamar is the new Tupac." Well, and it's like that's such an
But
interesting
there
thing.
not a new Michael Jackson.
There will never be a new Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He is the one.
They used to say the most comparable artist to Michael Jackson
Justin
was
Timberlake.
Prince,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
but like,
Okay,
know.
if he dies, we'll see how people react to it.
yeah.
And then,
right now, nobody gives a shit about Prince.
I have a friend who is in love with Prince.
So do
I
I.
got a sold
I don't
out.
Our
really
friend
care.
Lauren loves Prince.
I don't
Did
really
she go to
care.
that? He was here in L.A.
Yeah,
recently, right?
yeah. She saw. I guess she said he did like a 4-hour show or something.
A 4-hour show? Didn't you say that she said that Prince did a Q&A on Facebook and didn't answer any questions?
I don't remember that.
Or answered
ass.
one?
What did
an
he talk
ass.
about?
I forgot. You guys were telling me that Lauren said that he did a Q&A on Facebook and might have answered just one question.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
That's
I'd
funny.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was watching this Neil deGrasse Tyson thing at the Air and Space Museum, and it was about like dark matter and like the dark space and all that stuff. And it was a planetarium show, which was amazing. If you've never seen a planetarium, have you seen a planetarium show?
Is it like the whole room is
It's like a big
ceiling.
dome.
I've been in that, but it was a long time ago.
Okay.
We gotta go. We should
Let's
all
go to
go
the Griffith Observatory, yeah.
Griffith, I've never been to the Griffith.
You've never been?
I've been in the parking lot. Never been in.
Then
Sam-
you haven't been.
Yeah. That. I mean.
Let's go
I've been
this
in the parking
weekend,
lot.
Sam.
You haven't been.
What are you doing this
The
weekend?
Griffith isn't that exciting.
You have plans this
It
weekend?
is.
I have
we
one
didn't
plan
Get
this
inside and
weekend.
think about the
Do you have
universe.
Saturday plans?
Yes, I have Saturday.
Do you have Sunday plans?
We're just gonna go see that scary movie.
Let's see the scary movie, and then we'll
already
go to the
saw it.
Griffith Observatories.
Okay.
You want to come, Owen?
All right.
Will, you're not invited.
I wasn't planning on going.
Will, I want you to come.
Okay.
I want you to see space shit.
I've
Anyway,
been-
so I was learning about dark matter and stuff, and it was pretty interesting. Owen, what do you know about dark matter?
Have you seen Star Trek when Spock talked about dark matter?
Yeah.
I like the way he talks in that movie.
Have you ever seen like it's a very very popular like finding that someone did? They took the Hubble telescope and they like you can like if you look out into the stars like the astronomers. I'm gonna say this very poorly because I'm not an astronomer, but they had a map of the stars. They were looking at it and there was a dark spot and they wanted to try to look at the dark spot to like either scan for dark matter or like scan for anything what would be in the emptiness. But when they focused on the darkness and the Hubble telescope could adjust properly, they saw a whole new field of galaxies.
Holy
meaning
shit.
that like there was even more beyond what we already saw. Meaning that like it's infinite and infinite and infinite. It was really cool, just like in
Yeah,
a
And the
tiny little
universe is
spot.
like constantly expanding. too,
Beyond the
right? It's just getting bigger
Andromeda
and bigger.
galaxy.
and cooling.
Dark matter, from what I know, is like it's mathematically like filling all that empty space that looks just like you're like there's all these galaxies and whatever, and in between lots of black and stuff, and there has to mathematically be something there, so that's what they
Yeah.
call dark matter.
In
And
dark matter, the molecules are denser, and that's why we can have more space. And yeah, I made that shit up.
you know what's cool to me though is I heard that galaxies aren't just like floating in the void, like they're being supported by dark matter, kind of suspended.
No way.
No, yeah, someone described it as like think of space as an ocean because like and there's always going to be little particles in it because like space is not empty. If you go out into space and you like start to like notice things that are floating around, there's like ice, there's just random particles, there's like everything. There's always things. There's no real emptiness anywhere
Really?
you go. Yeah.
Also, lots and lots of radiation.
Oh man,
Like,
you'll cook.
you
You'll
die.
cook. No, also if you gave birth to a baby on Mars, that baby can't come back to Earth.
I also heard
Why?
that once
The
you go
gravity's
black,
different.
you won't come. You,
You
don't
won't
go
come
back.
back. Yeah.
Scientists said that too.
Why can't you come back?
They
if
said
you're
it about
born there?
space too.
Huh? The gravity. The gravity's different. The gravity's lighter on Mars. So
Goku could do it.
Goku could do it. You're right.
So you're
He
saying
like-
if that baby came back here, it'd be crushed. Its
it
bones would
wouldn't
be
move
too brittle.
It wouldn't move around probably. And
Just
like
be
how you can't protect it from gravity.
Yeah, it would just be
I can
like
protect
a
my baby from
pile of
anything.
person.
A pile of person. That would suck if I was a pile of person. I'd be like, shit. I really want to go to Subway today.
You ever see when astronauts come back from space, like after months of being away, and they're all withered away because all their muscle mass was like
Oh yeah,
deteriorated?
it's like atrophied almost.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of gross. Cool.
Reminds me when I saw Gravity, which is one of the only things I've ever seen in 3D that I thought was like meant for that. Like I thought Gravity was real good.
I loved it.
Sandra
Loved
Bullock is in that movie, right?
I'm kind of curious about the Martian.
She was.
Oh
in,
yeah,
she
That
was
movie
on the
looks good.
George
Yeah.
Lopez show. That's all I can see her. At.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I like her in that
You liked her on the George Lopez show.
for like 3 episodes in the.
They
first
got Sandra
you-
Bullock
the
on the George Lopez show.
beginning
was
of
a
that
producer, I
sentence, you
think.
were watching the George Lopez show.
Yeah, you started that off.
So
with
whatever
also-
you said after that doesn't matter.
What? It's a bad show.
It's not a great show.
I don't think it actually wasn't a bad show.
I
That's
watched
because
it.
we're Mexican.
I've also never I haven't seen it.
Oh,
It's
I
just
love that
another
show.
one
I
of
watched it in
those
doctor's
sitcoms.
offices.
I love all sitcoms though. So like.
I don't love all sitcoms, but that one was pretty entertaining.
Even the boring ones I like. I just like that the format is so stuck.
You like boring sitcoms?
I kind of
Oh,
like George
those are the
Lopez's mom in that show. She was sassy.
Oh, Bonita. She was very sassy.
Sassy.
Sasuke, I need a smoke and a drink.
And you love
And
Frasier?
his brother, wasn't it his brother?
Frasier, huh?
His brother was like kind of like
didn't have a
not all
brother.
there. Or who
Oh,
was it?
you mean Ernie?
Was that Ernie?
Ernie.
Was Ernie his best friend
Oh
or
my
something?
God, I feel like now that I think about it, Ernie is kind of a racist caricature, huh? Hey, it's me, Ernie. George, we can't go there. He
But he was also kind of like not all there in the head.
He was not all there in the head, but that's why we
on
like Ernie.
purpose. But
Ernie's
that's the
funny.
same thing with like Kramer and Mr. Furley, and there's
Yes,
always that
that
character.
Ernie
that
is
archetype.
Kramer.
Yeah.
Your best friend who definitely doesn't have his life together makes your main character look real good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's why those characters are relatable. In real life, everyone knows someone like that where you're like, I don't know how you survive, but you seem
We
to be
do have
having
a
a better
friend like
time
that.
than me.
You are having I'm telling you, the stupider you are, the better life you have. Absolutely.
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance
man.
There
is
you
bliss.
go.
If you sit around and read books all day and are like, oh, the world is going to blow up in 300 million years, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to be alive.
I keep wanting to work on this idea of a dog's life. Like, would it be possible for a human to live a dog's life?
I tried that last night.
Oh yeah, you did try that last night.
It was
How long
it
was
lasted
it?
like a minute.
Wait, I wasn't there. What does that mean?
Catacomb wasn't into it. Will and I were hanging out in the living room, and Darren was there, and I think you were there too, right, Sam? And Will was just like, I'm gonna be a dog now. And he went down onto the ground and just stopped talking and was doing dog shit for a
With
little while.
Catacomb. And Catacomb
Catacomb.
immediately started humping me. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
That's what it's like.
don't make me your bitch.
Yeah. Well, he's the dog in the house. He's the real dog.
He didn't have to make me his bitch, though.
But I mean, if you like turn it into a dog for a day like that,
You
I
were
mean,
just
he
trying to
would
get
be
in
the
on
top
his
dog.
swag.
But okay, so this was an experiment. What did you get out of it?
I
What was your
learned-
conclusion? At
What was
the
the
end?
yeah, what did you
I learned it's a lot. It's pretty exciting. Like we played around a bit and we were doing some shit. But then after that, it
that's
just,
every day.
Yeah, I don't know how long I could keep that up. Like he doesn't even have like apps to like look at and shit. Like he doesn't Snapchat.
Yeah, but he also doesn't have to worry about bills or like
Or
Think-
social
thinking
engagement.
doesn't really
Well,
think.
like, can you only drink water?
consciously.
Can you only drink water for the rest of your life?
yeah,
You
unless some
could.
asshole want to give you beer or something.
That'd be real bad.
Don't give that to your
Don't
dog.
give your dog
Yeah, but
beer.
there's always an asshole. It's like, check
Yeah.
this out. I'm gonna put a little beer in
Yeah,
this
let's
blah,
blow
blah."
some smoke in his face.
Yeah, bad news.
Like that video we saw of the bird smoking the joint.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Also, Catacomb, like dogs eat rocks for food.
the
that's
ones
the
that
worst
have
part
the
about
ones that have pica that eat rocks for food.
The ones that eat pike.
No, pica. It's a disease where you eat like inanimate objects.
I mean, no, I'm just saying all
or
dog food. Dog,
oh, you're
edible
saying
objects.
dog
regular
food is
dog
like
food
rocks?
is like rocks.
Oh,
You ever hear a dog eat it? It sounds like. It sounds the worst.
Yeah.
I would hate it.
It's really sad, huh? That like
You eat
dogs eat the
chips?
same shit.
I don't
every
eat chips
day.
all the time.
some people like make their dogs meals like
I know.
they pre-make
And I
their
think
meals
you
and they just
should, but
we're too
But he
lazy
can't
for
speak
that.
up.
we're
He
too
can't
lazy.
speak up.
Yeah.
It's
I
sad,
bet
right?
it-
Imagine eating the same shit.
I bet
every day.
I bet if you can make a dog talk, the first thing you think he'd say, "I love you," he'd be like, "Give me something else to eat.
Yeah, please.
I want something
Like
else."
begging in tears.
Put some fucking Cocoa Puffs in my bowl. I don't give a shit.
Just
I'm
switch it up.
sick of
Most
this shit.
most people with dogs give them like a little piece of meat now and then, or
Every
like
once
some
in a while.
leftovers or
Yeah, but
something.
Yeah, there
imagine
you go.
that. Imagine as a human, if we were all served the same bowl of fucking crunchy, dry lamb.
Even imagine if it
I'd
was-
beg at the table.
Imagine even if it was a good meal that you liked, your favorite meal. Imagine if you had your favorite meal every day.
Yeah, even if it was your favorite. And dogs are eating things that aren't even close to their favorite.
Not even close.
every day.
And that's why every time you come in a house with a brown bag filled with
it runs to
it
you.
runs to you and it will do anything you say.
Yeah.
Well, But like you were saying, America's great. But we eat different stuff all the time because it's fun.
Oh,
Taste
yeah.
different variety, whatever. But
You are so right.
through most of time, we ate mostly the same
thing.
whatever was in your environment. Especially in like poor times, where like all you could eat is cabbage every single day.
Man, what country was that?
Maybe
Russia.
here,
Probably
probably.
here.
Yeah, a lot of yeah.
All right, so let's move on to movies.
Remember
a
the
little
Matrix
bit
with the
because-
mush?
Oh yeah,
the
that's
Matrix
right.
they had the mush every day. You could survive off it; it would just suck.
It's like those people who are trying to eat Soylent. You know, like that
Oh
Soylent
yeah,
mix.
I'm,
They
I'm
like,
curious.
yeah, I feel like you're
usually-
constantly shitting.
But what if someone was
And
like,
don't they
if you
usually
ate
like give up
this-
after a certain amount of time?
Yeah.
For me though, if they said if you ate this every day for the rest of your life, you would be healthy, I'd probably consider it.
Oh, there's a kind of on the same subject. There's that podcast, Worst Idea of All Time, where they watched Grown Ups 2 once a week for a year,
That's insane.
and they go insane, and they do their podcast like right after they've watched it each time, and they're just miserable.
Yeah, but I just want to know how we know for sure they're watching it every time.
'Cause
Grown Ups
what's
2?
the point?
I've never seen either of the Grown Ups movies.
It's okay.
They sound pretty believable. Yeah, well, they'd never seen it before, and they'd never seen the first one.
They just
couldn't
skip
How
watch
do
straight
they
to
follow
second
the
one.
story?
I can watch any movie. I can watch any movie twice in the same week.
Right, but it's the same thing as like the people who eat the mush every day or whatever. It's like a Zen like endurance test or whatever. And after that year, they started. Now they're like halfway through it. They've been watching Sex and the City 2, and once a week.
Can you? Yeah.
And that movie's 2.5 hours long, apparently.
If you watch that movie every day for 15 days in a row, after that you would just get into this trance of thought. I think you wouldn't be able
You
to
go
pay
into the
attention to
void.
words. Yeah.
but like halfway through is probably like the worst time, and then as the end starts getting closer, like a marathon or
I
something.
wonder if you start noticing things that like other people wouldn't have noticed.
Oh, they've done looked at everything just to try and entertain themselves because it's so miserable.
I asked Steve
So
this
can
question.
they recite it? Like, can they recite this movie back to people?
Yeah, but they don't really talk about that much. But whenever one of them's like, "Oh, remember that line?" They're like, "Oh, blah blah blah." blah. Like they definitely have it
Jesus.
down.
I asked Steve this question, and I'll ask it to you too. Well, I'll ask the PG version. Okay, like imagine if. Okay, I know you like movies for $500,000, starting today. You get $500,000, no
Tax-free?
taxes, tax-free, immediately. Put in your bank account, not in cash. You don't have to go to the bank.
Are they unmarked bills?
Unmarked bills, all for you. No tax.
Does anybody know what
nothing.
that means? Unmarked bills?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
What does it mean?
Bills have serial numbers and stuff.
So
So
wait,
you
you
can-
can have a serial number?
Every bill has a different number,
So
you
when
can
you
track
have
bills.
unmarked ones, it makes them untraceable, and then
Yeah.
and criminals want that,
Yeah,
so they don't trace where their money's from.
yeah.
That's cool.
Because if
Okay.
you rob a bank, they know all the numbers of the bills and stuff that are in there.
$500,000 unmarked bills put into your account right now. Debit card works and everything. Go down to 7-Eleven, get yourself a couple things if you want. But every movie you watch for the rest of your life, at some point, Pennywise the clown is in it. Just in it.
He shows up.
He shows up, and it's not the same part every time in the movie. So like every time you watch Back to the Future, first he was on the skateboard too.
Wait,
Next time you watch it, he's holding on to the
wait.
electricity thing.
So was he written into it, or you're the only one that
You're the
sees
only
him?
one that
He's
sees
sneaking
it.
into it
He's sneaking into the movie
just for you.
Every movie you see.
Is he like doing it for you, or is he like part of the story?
He acts like he's part of the story.
There you
He
go.
acts
I
like
like
he's
that.
really bad acting too. Like he's looking at the camera.
Wait, how long is he there for?
Just for however long the scene is. However long. One scene. He gets one scene.
that would ruin every movie.
What if he went in the background and just started knocking stuff over while they kept acting?
It's just a joke you're only in on.
Well, it would ruin every movie,
It would
especially
ruin every movie.
if it wasn't in the beginning of the movie. You'd just be waiting for the rest of the movie for him to show up. And if you knew about 50 minutes in, you'd be stressed out. Like, where is he at?
The money just sounds like a bonus.
Oh,
I
so
would
this-
love it.
oh, you'd love it.
I would love
But
it.
what if you
Tim Curry as Pennywise is so
Yeah, but
entertaining.
you love Wes Anderson movies. What if you saw him in a Wes Anderson
I could
movie?
separate out that he's not part of the creative vision.
What if it's distracting as shit?
It would
though?
definitely be
is,
distracting.
is he like ruining the movie every time?
I mean, he's doing Pennywise shit, so kinda.
It just sounds. I like it.
And forever,
You
that
like it.
whole scene will have Pennywise in it.
and
fucking
from
around.
now till you die, like every single movie you watch,
Yeah.
he'll be in it.
You do it. Would you
I mean,
do it?
you know why? Because I'm sad that like Tim Curry doesn't do stuff anymore. So I'd be
Aw.
happy to be getting more Tim Curry.
I heard about that he had a stroke a few years ago.
Yeah. All right, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to reverse this on you.
I love Tim Curry.
What if every Drake song you heard from here on out.
Had Pennywise the clown. in it.
No, it's like you would get $500 million, or is that
$500
Is that
million?
how much it was?
500,000.
It was 500,000.
Oh, 500. Okay, 500,000, unmarked, tax free in your bank account.
Can I use my debit card immediately to use
It will work right away.
Can I
Go
down
go to
7-Eleven?
Kmart.
Can I get some like?
Yeah, you can go to
cookies
7-Eleven and get
donuts?
a cold drink,
Okay.
chip. So let's say that, but for the rest of your life, every Drake song will have a quote from Hitler in it,
Oh God!
and it's Hitler's voice.
And it's Hitler's voice in
Yes.
it.
Does it flow or does it like break?
No, it just breaks it. It's like right in the middle of it.
That's fucking stupid. I
I mean,
like.
so is yours.
I mean, yeah.
Pennywise, yeah.
But like, I listen to music more than I watch movies.
Yeah, because that's your movies.
Damn it! I would really like
$500,000. This is
$500,000.
only Drake songs.
Okay, like, you know,
own it. You every movie is
we know.
ruined.
Oh,
we
that's
know.
true. I didn't. That was.
yeah,
that's
you were
not
ultra
quite the
specific.
equivalent.
Yeah.
Because if I had said like, if you
Every
said every
song.
Quentin Tarantino movie, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll take the 500,000.
Yeah. I would do it if it was
Every
every
song
Quentin
has a
Tarantino
Hitler
movies.
quote.
If it was okay, my version where every Studio Ghibli movie had Pennywise in it and not even drawn into it, I'd still take it. Every Drake song.
Aren't you scared of Pennywise?
Yeah, I don't think he's cool.
So wouldn't that scare
I would
you?
not.
I was
hang.
terrified when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
still haven't seen
terrifying.
it. I still
Really?
haven't seen it.
I've only seen
too late.
Don't
scenes
bother.
from it.
It's too late.
No.
It's too cheesy now.
I could respect it.
Yeah,
But,
but,
like,
it's
in the
really
movie-
cheesy. It's not even motion picture feature film cheesy. It's TV movie cheesy.
Oh.
And TV movie from the early 90s cheesy. So if you
Nothing
can
in the
picture what that
90s.
is.
Have Steve show you the clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just wait till the
good-
It movie comes out. There's
The
like a
remake.
new one coming.
No
out.
way.
Yeah.
Who's playing it?
Don't know.
They had
It's like
this
young
kid.
yeah.
They had some kid cast, but I don't think he's in it anymore.
I'd probably take the money though if it was in there. I'd really like to have $500,000. I just wouldn't listen.
I would do
anymore.
a lot of things for $500,000.
Yeah. I mean, if we took that up, if you originally said 500 million, I'd for sure take it for $500 million.
I do a
I
lot
just-
of things
Okay,
for
how about this?
$500
For
million.
$500 million,
Mm-hmm.
every day for the rest of your life, no matter where you look, Hitler is somewhere in your field of vision. Whether
Like, we
he's-
look around.
Yeah, you look way down
That
there.
is so fucking scary. I would never get over that.
Could he ever do anything? Is he just
no,
there?
he's just there.
Is he just
But
texting
that's the
on his
scariest
phone?
part about ghosts. I'm never worried about what a ghost
Yeah, I
would
just don't want to see him.
would
I
do
don't
to
wanna
you. Yeah, I
see
just
him.
don't want to see it. I don't want to see somebody where they're
Wait,
not supposed
is it
to be.
Hitler or Hitler's
Hey,
ghost?
that's
It's
kind of
Hitler.
cool. That's
Damn
kind
it.
of cool. It's terrifying, but you got good stories.
500.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
that's a
see
good-
it either. 500 million.
He's always in my field of vision. So if I'm looking at
Always.
Owen, he's like back there.
yeah, he's like over there behind the
And then when
curtain.
you look over, and then
peeking.
he's like, he never leaves your field of vision.
Never leaves your field of vision.
I mean, like,
Ooh.
like he could even be in your peripheral.
You know
how
Like, you know, you
annoyed-
could see Darren in your
that would be
peripheral right
scary.
now.
That
Like,
would be really
Oh yeah.
scary.
What if I couldn't see him, but it was in my peripheral?
You
Oh,
know how
sometimes.
and you know how annoyed you get when you have a scratch
Yeah,
on your
I
lens.
hate it.
You can never get rid of it. It's always there.
Well, it's not like it follows your face. It's like someone's actually standing there. So it's like,
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
That sounds like the
Everywhere you
worst
look, it's
thing.
there.
so like right here. Let's say the camera.
So when you're in
this
your
whole
room-
the camera and the tripod.
That's
That's
what I was thinking. Just like at work,
Yeah.
whatever. Home alone, the middle of the night when I wake up, no
Hitler's in the corner of your room.
Yeah, he's just
Okay.
sitting in a chair smoking or something.
Would you rather get $500 million or run over by a huge truck?
Which one?
Well, I'd
Which
rather
one?
get run over by a truck.
Gun to your head if you had to choose.
Gun to your head.
Gun to your head.
If you had to choose. All right, let's talk about movies a little bit because Owen, I know you're a movie fan. And Owen can be sometimes even pickier than I am about movies, which is kind of a terrifying
What, you
thing
didn't
to
like
think
Chronicles
about.
of Narnia?
You didn't like the Chronicles of Riddick?
You didn't like Chronicles of Narnia?
I like when I was a kid, they had like a PBS live action.
Love
version.
that.
Yeah.
The BBC
Really?
one?
I do not like that.
That's
I
really
watched
good.
that.
It's so cheesy.
Well,
I
what's
haven't
the-
seen it since I was a kid, but I loved it then because I was reading the books and I was super into it.
Okay, so what was the last movie you saw in the theater that you like really loved?
Inside Out?
Oh,
Okay.
Inside Out's real good.
It's been a good year for movies. I've been surprised. I saw Mad Max 3 times. That was
You did?
amazing. Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm buying that on Blu-ray.
That's artistic, huh? That's like a. That's,
Oh,
it's
you
like
should watch
that's
it.
like
yeah.
the ballet of like action.
I
movies
love
or
that
whatever.
kind of
Yeah.
shit.
You know, it is a ballet. It's like a dance. Like the way the movie works, like the solid, like
Yeah.
there's like a 40 minutes where it's just like one scene. It's a
Momentum.
I love
like
that kind of
never-ending momentum. It's amazing.
and it just
well
fades out of the
executed.
moment and then goes to the next.
I want to make.
like Wild Wild West.
I want to make artsy, symbolic shit like that in my life, but I feel like people don't like it. People don't always want to see that.
I mean,
Well,
we wanted to see Mad
there's
Max.
a okay.
I mean, because you know that director made a lot of other good movies like Happy Feet.
And Babe.
He did.
No, he made Babe too.
He made Babe too, and I think.
Or like he just wrote it or something.
How do
Oh,
you
he
go
directed
from Mad Max to Happy Feet? Well, Happy Feet to Mad Max. No, Mad Max to Happy Feet.
yeah, three Mad Max movies. They one of the Twilight Zone movie segments and some other stuff.
And they were like, the
on
companies were like, oh, let's have him direct this Happy Feet.
The Shatner one, right? Or like the John Lithgow one where he's on the plane? I think he directed that one.
yeah, I
Is
think
he
you're
that
right.
That's
old?
good. That's
Yeah.
a good segment. I
Yeah.
like that one.
Is he that old?
Yeah, he's like 70 something, and he just made that movie.
I'll tell you how
With
you
that
go
kind of
from-
energy and stuff. He's amazing.
The way you go from like Happy Feet to Mad Max is money.
Oh.
That he probably got a
Also,
lot of money.
they were
for
trying
that.
to get this new Mad Max made for way back during the 90s, and in the meantime, just to keep things moving and stuff, he did the Happy Feet movies and set
Yeah.
up this whole like animation studio in Australia.
Wow,
That's
so that was
cool.
like a
Do that.
passion project?
Did you hear that
Wow.
M. Night Shyamalan from his money that he got from After Earth, he took that money to produce the movie we just watched,
The Visit.
The Visit?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
he
So you
self-produced
yeah,
it.
you gotta
Yeah.
play the game for sure.
Because
Well,
apparently
that's what Nolan does too. Nolan
do that?
makes his big studio movies and then he goes and makes Inception and
Oh, cool.
Like does the
Prestige
Batman so he can
and
do
stuff.
the other one. Yeah.
apparently I read that the studios were like taking away like post production power from M. Night Shyamalan, so that's why he had to produce it himself, so he can edit it himself and like make those kind of
That
decisions.
makes sense.
And I think it's because companies wanted to put his name on movies because they knew people are gonna come see M. Night Shyamalan because they're like, well, how's it gonna be this
well,
time?
everyone's talking about how like, is this M. Night Shyamalan, is he back with The Visit? Like,
wouldn't
don't think
say
he's-
back.
Yeah, I wouldn't say back either because like he's fooled us too many times now.
Oh, I'm gonna give you some crap. Is that how you saying he's fooling you? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't really watch that many movies to know if they're crap.
Watch The Happening, because man, like
That
okay,
was him.
Yeah,
That was my first scary movie.
It is a bad movie. That's a bad,
It scared
bad
the
movie.
shit out of me. I was talking to
it's
Plants for
overly
weeks after
violent.
that.
There's a scene, spoilers, where like they're like
The
figuring out
shovel.
like so plants are killing people in the movie. That's what's happening.
Okay,
in the
explain
happening.
that.
Huh? They give out a chemical and it makes people kill themselves.
Because
That's
plants
what's
are
happening.
mad at humans?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
on its own.
Yeah, but there's a scene. Okay, the movie
notion
was supposed
is like
to be.
we've been treating the planet so bad, it's taking
Yeah.
revenge on
This
us.
was supposed to be his
I don't hate that
B
concept.
movie.
I don't hate it either.
This was supposed to be his B movie. He wanted to make a B movie horror movie, and it didn't really come across that way. It came across as just a bad movie.
I'd
But
say more The Visit is more like a good like B movie.
It
horror
is. He
movie.
makes fun of himself, but there's
It's
a
more like an
scene-
Alfred Hitchcock presents type.
just like a fun. Yeah. There's just a good old like campfire
Well, apparently
story
for that
or
movie,
something.
there was I think 2 or 3 cuts. One was like comedy, one was scary, and one was comedy and scary. And that's the one that we saw.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I liked it.
Oh wait,
I'd like to see the
Wait,
all
really?
comedy one.
I like to see the horror one. I want to know if
I'd
it
rather
gets.
see the all
It wasn't
comedy
very. I mean, I didn't get that scared.
I think it
really.
was the right. You gotta. The most fun horror movies are the ones where you're kind of going between screaming and laughing or whatever.
yeah,
So
those are
that-
your 2 most extreme emotions. Like, yeah.
That's why I like Cabin
In,
in the Woods, Shaun of the Dead.
Cabin in the Woods needs more praise.
Yeah,
I
it
like
really
Wait, yeah,
does.
it gets praise. Cabin in the Woods.
It does. I want
it's
it.
like
I
people have
want it to
forgotten
be
it
more
already.
popular. I want it
Yeah.
to be more popular, and a sequel wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind a sequel of that.
No, I mean, well, yeah.
I wanted it to end halfway through just because I was right when like they were celebrating. And the girls on the screen in the background getting just like destroyed or whatever, and
yeah.
they're like playing music and popping champagne and
There-
stuff. I thought it was like great.
There's
that was
always-
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm good.
There's always one thing from a scary movie I take with me, and from Cabin in the Woods, it's the Hellraiser guy. The
Yeah,
whole
that
of
guy
the-
was cool.
That's scary to me. That's scary to
Oh.
me.
with
That-
the pieces of the drill in his
Oh,
or
for
was it
when
the
we
saw
watched
in his
when we
head?
watched The Visit, I was sitting in between Will and Maud.
God,
Yeah.
I wish I would pay money to do. I would pay money to be in that position.
There was a lot of hands across my lap squeezing each other.
Mon and I are the most dramatic people in the world.
I didn't find the
And the
visit
most
scary
scared.
And the
at
most
all.
scared.
No.
But I found it entertaining.
I found it. Yeah, I didn't find
Yes.
it as scary as I thought it was. It was definitely entertaining.
It was
there-
kind of creepy at times,
Yeah.
but then once you realize it's not like some. Well, no spoilers.
Yeah,
Never
no
mind.
spoilers, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was planned to be.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say to you earlier when you say like, no, you don't always want a movie that's all like symbolism and all that stuff and whatever. There's real quick. There's the notion that like movies and TV and stuff are like escapism, like turn your brain off kind of stuff, and that's fine because you do need to relax and whatever. But the nice thing about entertainment is when you get someone to turn their brain off and stop thinking about bills and all that stuff. Once you got their attention, you can tell a nice little story and whatever. And they used to do that. They used to care more about putting like stories that like we can
They
talk
put
about
more
like,
effort into it.
Yeah, like Star Wars, you get your nice little hero's journey or whatever, and you kind of come out feeling inspired or learning, getting a little introspective about yourself and stuff.
Is that what
And
Guardians of the Galaxy is? You'd say?
No, we've totally ditched that now.
Oh,
that's
really?
the thing. They realize that we can do all the escapism stuff because that's all people want. They don't want to think.
They
And
come
so
up with their
ditched-
special effects before they come up with their script.
The first thing before any of it, release date.
Release date.
That's where it
I mean,
starts.
that's Marvel released all their release dates already.
There it is.
Yeah.
Before they have finished scripts for
No,
probably
they don't
most-
have actors. They don't have directors. They don't have anything. Not even an idea of what story they're gonna
It's
tell.
just it's so that like that's distressful because people will go see it anyways and enjoy it anyways, but why not
Yeah.
put a little
I wanna
effort
make
into
movies.
the
But then
story,
movies
right.
like Birdman come out, and that's definitely telling something. That's escapism, and it's using it to
and
kind
that's
of tell us.
that's
about
talking
something.
about comic book movies as business,
Right,
like
comic
commercial
book
properties. I
movies
mean,
and
that's it's-
Hollywood.
Yeah, that Birdman is
Yeah.
the answer to if you're distressed by Marvel stuff. Like, here's the creative side of it. Here's
Right.
what the reason you should be.
And that movie
Like-
didn't that movie win Best Picture?
I don't
yeah,
remember.
yes,
Yeah, and so that at least there's that still happening. Like it, and it isn't just like
yeah. That's,
dominated by mindless action movies.
right,
or
that's what I'm
whatever.
saying. Those are the nice surprises. And I'm sure, you look back and like, oh man, every movie we loved from the 80s was great or whatever. I'm sure there was 100,000 bad movies that year that you don't remember.
I think it's
so
also a little nostalgia that makes those movies look
there's
good.
that too. Although I've gotten pretty good at like getting over the nostalgia. Like when I rewatch stuff that I liked as a kid, like it's usually like 50-50. Some of them I'm like, oh, it still holds up. It's good, whatever. The other half, you're like, oh, I was a dumb kid.
I bet you the
liking that.
Rugrats movie is still good.
I bet so.
I bet you it is.
It's probably
Iron
still
Giant's
compelling.
still good.
Yeah,
Oh, for
Iron
sure.
Giant's
Giant.
great.
Man.
Red Bird.
I heard
Got
that's-
it going.
They're putting Iron Giant back out in theaters.
Yeah, for
yeah.
1
Super
week.
stoked about that.
1 week.
And Incredibles 2 is coming out.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Incredibles. is
Which I
really
don't know
good.
how they're gonna do. That was a nice original story for superheroes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah.
Pixar, they really like
They care.
They work on the story for years and years. That's why when you watch Inside Out, you're like, every little detail is clever and gets you think. And everyone, kids and adults, are like, who didn't come out of that movie thinking like that's what it was like to grow up?
Exactly. That's why
Those
people
are-
kind of teared. I teared up in that movie
they-
because it wasn't sad. It was just It was the most relatable.
Because they know their audience, and their audience is everybody. You could be a thug-ass motherfucker and go and watch a Pixar movie and be like, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Which says a lot about us as people, doesn't it? And it's that they're so good at storytelling that they can grab everybody
Yeah.
in some way.
I personally-
because growing up or becoming an adult,
Everyone
living a
grew
life,
up, yeah.
everyone goes through the same basic like series of events. Just the circumstances are all different. So we're all telling the same story, but everyone tells it in their own unique way.
Right, and everyone was scared
I-
of something when they were a kid. Everyone had this, this
Passions.
hope for the future, passions. Yeah,
Bing bong.
Bing,
Oh,
bing, bing,
bing,
bong.
bong.
Bing,
bong,
bong.
bing, 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 bong, bong, bing,
Maybe
bing,
Trump
bing.
just really likes Inside Out.
I gotta see this.
What was the
movie.
last horror movie you saw that you liked, Owen?
We watched It Follows.
Oh yeah.
I
Follows
really
was
liked
good.
It Follows.
And Under the Skin last year.
Under the Skin was great.
I still haven't seen that. I've heard. I mean, you guys were rant and rave about
You
it.
should see. I think it's called Creep.
I've never heard
It's
of it.
that movie.
I'm a loser.
You know the guy
That's my
that
trigger
did
song,
Safety
don't
Not
bring that up.
Guaranteed. The Safety Not Guaranteed guy.
Colin Trevorrow.
Aubrey Plaza.
Not Colin Trevorrow. That's Jurassic World.
Can we
yeah,
get Aubrey
he did-
Plaza
That's
on
the
there?
same movie.
Oh, is
it's the
it?
same guy. Yeah.
Can we
You
get
mean the
Aubrey
director? You're
Plaza
talking
on
about
the
the director?
podcast?
No, I'm talking about the main guy.
Oh, I don't
in-
Bless you.
Anyway, I think it's called Creep. That was a really good horror.
Was that
movie.
you or him?
That was this man. I'm very excited about Goodnight Mommy. Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
Goodnight Mommy.
looks great. We're gonna. It just
Is that
came
the
out this
sequel to
weekend.
Mama.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a bad movie.
It's the prequel.
I didn't like it either.
Right, like that's a bad movie.
People loved it.
Bye Bye Auntie.
Why-
was my
wait,
favorite
loved it.
movie.
Bye bye,
Like-
Grandma Mama.
Yeah. Oh man,
Grandma
that's a bad
Mama.
horror
I
movie.
saw Crimson Peak,
Oh yeah.
and I highly recommend anyone listening to this go see that movie. But please know, and it helped a lot to have Guillermo del Toro came out and actually introduce the movie.
That's super cool.
And had he not, I feel like that audience maybe would have been slightly more slightly disappointed. But he came out and said, "This isn't Insidious. This isn't, like some slasher. This isn't like Saw. This is a Gothic romance. That's what this is. It's a Gothic romance that just so happens to have ghosts in it.
Wait,
also.
what's it called again?
Crimson Peak.
Is this the one the British, like the house is like very...
The house is kind of messed up, and there's ghosts.
Like, oh my God, if I wasn't afraid of movies, I'd love to see that movie.
Well, I think you'd like it because I wasn't like terrified. There's some scary visuals.
I've seen the trailer. That's all I need. All I need is some scary visuals.
What do you think it is that makes you scared?
My imagination.
Same.
Yeah.
I have a very overactive imagination.
Me too.
I mean, me too. But it's like I just try to. I want to see what these guys come up with when it comes
I'll
to horror
see
movies.
a scary movie, and then if it scares me, I will not stop thinking about it, and my mind will play tricks on me.
Well, and I'm pretty good because it's movies. It's hard for especially being an editor and all that stuff. It's hard to like really get sucked in unless the story's like great usually. But there's always that funny like when we watched It Follows that night. And you guys dropped me off, and it was like midnight or something, and I was outside on the street corner having a cigarette, and there's just that one little second where you're just like, maybe I'll just look up and down the block.
I told Will about It Follows, and that gave him nightmares.
That scared the shit
I
out
was
of me.
telling him about
Okay,
it.
you told me there's some scene in it where like they throw a blanket on the thing and like you can see it. That was enough.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it looked in the movie. Just in my head, like that's enough.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Quentin Tarantino went on a rant recently about like what's wrong with It Follows.
It was more of. It was not like a because we were looking at it, right? It wasn't more of a rant. He was talking about like the mythology. He still liked it. He still liked the movie.
liked
So
it.
Quentin Tarantino's the guy.
It broke its rules, which is I
Yeah.
mean
He gets to
whatever.
decide.
It's
Quentin
it's his
Tarantino gets
story.
to decide.
Yeah. I guess, he was just saying, like, if I had made it, this is what I would have done. And I think it's, like, a great movie, but I didn't understand these moments that didn't really make sense.
I'll tell you what, though, his real power, more than anything else, is he sat in the audience of movies as a kid and growing up and stuff, and he knows exactly beat for beat in a movie what the audience is thinking and how they're reacting. And he knows how to manipulate that. That's totally what his writing is doing.
Yeah, he's got
To
the
give
audience
you
in the palm
the
of his hand,
most
pretty much.
exciting, most emotional, best audience experience.
What do you guys
If you
think
sit
about?
there and pay attention to the audience, you'll know what's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me about stand-up comedy is like a lot of it like is I'm not even gonna go into that. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
I just think like I've seen them be recorded before, and what they do is they add in laughs for things, and they do a lot of editing, and it's like it's hard for me to learn from it if it's like a lot of it is not real.
Yeah.
So yeah, which
That's why you got to go to a lot
That's
more
again
live.
like
Yeah.
like those guys with the podcast or whatever. Like, oh, do you think that was real? Whatever. And it's a shame that people do fake that stuff like that because what's the point? Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose?
the
of
whole
like,
purpose.
Yeah. It's-
You made it funny. You made it good. Yeah.
So, Owen, since this is the last time you will ever be on any show on SourceFed or SourceFed Nerd ever again,
This is a rare one.
is there a gem you'd like to leave our young audience with about storytelling or some kind of thing?
Young?
Just an anecdote you want to tell?
some of them,
the
Everyone's
audience?
young compared to me.
I
Do you want
guess.
to push out a little advice there? Maybe like an anecdote, a quote, something that you want to leave the audience with?
I want a quote. You got a quote?
Well,
Do the hero's journey shit you always do.
we just did it.
Oh, you already.
I mean,
Maybe
that was
the
a part of it,
importance
yeah.
of story or something.
No,
Something
I
about
just
space,
well, I said
eyebrows.
science, curiosity, logic.
Andromeda
God.
Galaxy.
Neil deGrasse. I was listening to one of his podcasts. He was talking to the Mythbusters. That was fun. I have some issues with this podcast. There's like his comedians like make jokes over scientists a lot, which is like sometimes it's funny, but a lot of times it's like distracting. But
Wait,
whatever.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has a podcast?
Yeah. Or he
Wow.
does, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so he's talking that, but he said that same thing. We've talked about it before, but that notion that mistakes are failures. That to me is like the biggest. Like people have a lot of issues with. Now we're the first conscious beings in the universe, as far as we know. So I try and give us a little credit. Like we're doing pretty good. We're just figuring out being conscious and all that. But we have a lot of guilt, and guilt leads to doing a lot of terrible things, negative things to yourself.
And this is what you were telling me a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, about I need to go and do 100 fail. I had to fail at stand-up comedy 100 more times.
Because when you're in school as a kid and if you get an F, then you're punished and you're an idiot and you feel bad and all this stuff. It's a failure, and like mistake just means you haven't learned it yet, and you need that's one more thing to learn.
Right, and not to be discouraged by the kid in the class that got the A that seems so happy and is getting praised.
Yeah.
Oh, her parents
yeah.
don't love her and make her learn.
Right,
and
or something
educate.
else,
Yeah.
or maybe, or something. But just don't be discouraged by failure, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not mistakes aren't failures.
I'd rather. I mean, I'm gonna learn the most when I fail. I'm gonna learn the most when I fail,
Same.
and like so, I'd rather.
Just
about
don't-
to
rather
say,
be
I'd
a
rather be a
loser.
failure
You're
than
gonna- I'd rather
a
be a
winner.
loser.
Yeah, it's gonna happen anyway, so don't be so hard on yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Just like, oh, okay, that was a mistake. Now I know not to do that or whatever.
Be
Well-
smart enough to learn from it.
It's just I don't like the guilt connection with the learning process.
I want to do good.
You will.
Good.
Okay.
You will. All right, guys. Well, on that, thank you so much for listening to our ramblings, our sober ramblings about life and space and movies. And I
Why
wanna
was
thank
that needed to be emphasized?
that we're sober? Because it sounds like we're drunk because of
Does
all the
it?
ridiculous shit we're talking about.
What's in that
Maybe
Perrier
sometimes.
bottle?
Shut up.
Once again, Perrier.com.
Owen, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on this
Hey.
I
SourceFed
like Owen.
podcast. Sam, once again, thank you. William Haynes, thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to SourceFed, our YouTube channel, and SourceFed Nerd, our nerdy YouTube channel.
And youtube.com/peoplebelike, our everything channel.
That's right. And if you like the podcast, please take some time to go to iTunes and write a quick review. Even if you didn't like it, it would be nice to hear some feedback from you guys on iTunes. And also check us out on SoundCloud.
Oh.
We appreciate you guys very much, and thank you for listening. And if you're in your car listening to us, drive safe and pay attention to the damn road, will you?
Holla at a player if you can.
And honk if you're horny. Thanks for watching, listening.
Bye.
That's all I ever hear people from the 80s talk about. Man, when Ghostbusters came out, that shit is old, all right?
That's the point.
One of them got a blowjob from a ghost in that movie. Why do you love it so
That's
much?
real uncomfortable. Too,
I
in that
never
scene.
got that.
So Lindsay's doing the DeFranco family.
Oh.
Lindsay does all of that.
You're talking about
You mean-
Vloggity?
Yeah, so vloggity, like shooting stuff in the office.
That's cool.
You know, we're gonna be getting a lot of more people coming through and just having it.